Hi there guys, welcome to another episode of TCG Rifters. My name is Rahman with another Krispy Kreme, the Elder Yapper. So in this video, well actually it's a two-part video, we are going to be doing a review. For the first one is that we're going to be doing a review for the Vendetta set. So we will be going through the heroes, what they do, the abilities, uncommons, commons, rares, epics, so all that good stuff as well. You can prepare yourself for pre-rifts and you can actually know what the cards do, cards that I genuinely believe they are good, and cards that synergize as well with some decks, and what will be the main focus of the meta. What I believe, disclaimer alert, this is just my review and my opinion and TCG Rift as a whole, and nothing here is set on stone. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, part 1 and part 2. Hey there guys, welcome to TCG Rifters spoiler review for season Vendetta. I believe this is set 4. So with this upcoming set, there's a lot of new reveals and a lot of new spoilers, and as you can see, there are precisely 6 tabs open. So we are covering quite a lot. I do not want to take too much time because there's a lot of cards to go through. We are not going to literally go through everything. So we're just going to go through as much as we can. We're going to go with the heroes, if you guys don't know how the heroes work first. So the total amount of heroes, and in this case legends, in this set, so 9 total. And just a fun fact, they did mention that they will be reducing the number of legends in packs. So that's a great thing to be hearing, so you won't be seeing double legends as often as you should. Okay, so the first card, the most famous one in this current set, the one that I believe that's going to be really breaking the meta, is Akali Rogue Assassin. So what she does is that she empowers 3 energy, 1 power, and empowers her. And action, if it's your turn, move a friendly unit in a showdown to base, and if I'm empowered, radiate. So this can only be used during your turn. So you can't really use it on opposition's turn, because he mentioned if it's your turn, move a friendly unit in a showdown to base, and if I'm empowered, radiate. The best part about it is that you don't lose empowered when you're paying the cost. So a lot of cards that will synergize well with Akali is Velsonger, Yasuo, Jin, and someone did actually mention in Twitter that were able to break Akali and have an infinite combo. I'm not going to go into that. So Akali is the main sunshine of the set. Coming in on number 2 is Butcher of the Sands, Renekton, our boy here. Reaction, using 2 power, you get to tap Renekton himself and you get to add 2 energy. Now, this is one of the reasons why seals are going up in price, not only because Renekton's ability, but because a lot of cards in this set has empower cost, burn cost. So burn doesn't have really a cost, but a lot of the empowered and flow costs sometimes can have power costs as well. So that's one of the reasons why. So for those of you that do not know, there are 3 new mechanics. It's burn, flow, and empower. Yeah. So Renekton basically adds mana, ramps you the necessary conversion from power to the energy that you would want to cast for your spells. So we want to go next with Zed. So Zed is that when you banish a card you own, empower him. I would say this is the much more interesting Jinx. Sorry, Jinx means, but yes, this is the new Jinx of the block, whereby in action you disempowered him and you get to discard 1 and draw a card. So instead of you waiting end step, you get to do it on action speed. Nasa's Curator of the Sands, when you play a unit, gear, or activate ability with energy cost 7 or more, you may exhaust me to ready up 2 runes. Again, play a unit, gear, or activate ability with energy cost 7 or more. It means that anything that costs 7 or higher, synergy with Nasus as well. So you get to ready up 2 runes. Quite a niche ability. I don't see people really talk about Nasus because the ability is very unique in its own way. I myself don't see anything special about him, but again, comment down below what you believe Nasus will be broken at that I don't see the potential with. So going next to Shen, again, my apologies. We do have a lot of cards to go through. This is 9 heroes, and then we're going to commons, uncommons, rares. So yeah, give a friendly unit tank this turn. So very simple. You don't need to empower him. You just give something tank. If you have something that you want to protect, Shen is the one for you. You have Jace, Defender of Tomorrow. 2 energy, 2 power to empower him. Get it? The power. Okay, I'll shut up. 1 energy and tapping him to ready a gear, and if he's empowered you get to ready 2 gears instead. Now the reason why this is important, because we actually have a mana rock, in this case an energy rock, to produce energy as well. So this will be very good with seals, particularly you want to utilize the seals. So Jace is seal / gear heavy when it's something you want it exhausted. So yeah, Mel, Soul's Reflection with Mind and Chaos. When you empower something, you get to empower Mel as well. And when you disempower her, you give a unit at a battlefield -2 might this turn. Again, that's why it synergizes with Akali. People have been holding Akali a lot, so that's what she does. She controls the board pretty well. And with also her mother, if you don't know, they are mother and daughter. Bessa, when you empower something, you get to empower her as well. Mother and daughter synergy. And when you disempower her, you get to use 1 power and tapping her to ready a unit. So she's going for that aggro. I would have loved to see her as Order and Fury, but that would make kind of Rek'Sai redundant, but you get to gamble with Rek'Sai. So she is more aggro, but with body mixed in, could be quite interesting. And of course, Cannon, the second most talked champion in this set, with, again, we will talk about his signature spell later. When you play a card from anywhere other than your hand, empower me. Action, disempower me, give a unit assault to this turn. So he's synergistic with assaults, so would be quite nice when it goes to this current meta with everything being so aggro, being so quick. So yeah, that goes with the hero section. Now let's go to the common section. And now we are at the comment section. As you can see, there are 47 cards. We're not going to be reviewing all of it, but we're going to cover as much as we can. Some of the more vital cards that you want to be looking out for pre-rifts and possibly upgrades for your decks as well. So the first card that we would want to see is that we want to see Brittle Steel, which is literally kill a gear, which is amazing for the Aurora matchup. Again, on part 2, I will mention the current meta status with what we believe is going to be good and bad. Brittle Steel costs 2 costs, 1 power, and the best part about it, it has flow. So it means you practically have 6 copies, 3 on hand and 3 onto the trash. Again, great card. I would see this be played at the sideboard, depending on the matchup, if you're going up against Aurora. But I can say with this current meta, not only red is going to be getting Killer Gear kind of ability, purple is going to get that. The next would be Blade Twirler. This is something, a card that I believe is quite interesting with Z, but it could be possibly having its synergies with some other cards as well. The first time I move each turn, choose a player, they burn 1. So you basically literally mill someone to death. There's another rare card that synergizes with Akali and Svelsonger. I'll talk about that later. Every time that you move with Blade Twirler, you get to literally mill someone. Basically, the infinite involves with a lot of cards, but what that infinite does is that you get to move your stuff a lot. So if you want to mill someone to death, you just use Blade Twirler over and over and over and over and over again, and you just move with Akali. Oasis Rider is an interesting card for 4 cost and 4 might, because if you control fewer runes than an opponent at the start of your beginning phase, you give him 2 might and ganking. Again, really good against those Aurora matchups against Silver. Aurora is really getting hits a lot for this meta, so if your enemy is ramping a lot and you have Oasis Rider as your aggro card, again for 4 costs, and it gets ganking and +2, 1 out of 5. I would say it's a solid 3. Same goes with Blade Twirler. I would say it's 2.5 situational. If you're going for the infinite route, I would say it's a 2, a solid 2. I don't see a lot of people going to be playing Blade Twirler. Brittle Steel is 4, without a doubt as well. Yes, Mournful Witness. Yes, I was thinking about that card. So Mournful Witness is a grade 2 drop for green. When a combat that I was in ends, empower me. So it means that if she doesn't die at the end of combat, she will be permanently empowered and she becomes a 4 might creature for a 2 drop, which is great. So usually when you are playing with green cards, again with a lot of green cards, they want to go early game, even with Irelia as well. But Irelia wouldn't want Mournful Witness as well. But I would say Mournful Witness as a Yi card would be very powerful, because not only she's a 4 might, but when she's defending, she is a 5 might for a 2 drop, which is insane. Great card for Yi, something you should be looking out for during your pre-rifts. Again, a good card nonetheless. It's a solid 3. Going next, Twilight Shroud. One of the most famous commons there is, when I saw this, it's literally Snakeskin's Veil without the reaction or action speed. You basically give a friendly unit +1, but that's not the thing that you should be looking at. It can't be chosen by enemy spells, abilities this turn. So it means that you basically have... Yeah, you can't touch me with Hidden Blade, you can't touch me with Starcross, but until at the end of that turn. The thing is that this thing doesn't have reaction or action speed, unless in the future, if someone can give something action or reaction speed, that would make it super busted. It has flow, makes it even more amazing. And the best part about it, you have 6 copies, 3 on hand, 3 in the graveyard with flow state. So, going to the next, Apprentice Mage. Again, blue is eating good. Empower 2 for the cost, 3 energy for a 3 might, so it's a 3 drop. The best part about it is that when you empower Apprentice Mage, you get to predict 2. So you are rewarded for empowering it. And it gives a bonus of +1 might. So a 3 for a 4 might drop. But the best part about it is that it gives you that predict 2 as well. So a good card with Diana, with Vex, anything that plays blue really that wants to cycle through. Cannon would love this card as well. So yeah, it's a one-time thing, but at least you get a body for might for the cost of the card. Next is Octopus. That sounds very sus. Okay, again, this card is great against aggro. If a player would score 1 point, they would draw instead. This only happens on first and second turn, so it's not permanent. This is a great first, second drop, because if you're fighting anything that is aggro, like Rek'Sai as well, like Lilia, anything, even with Yi that wants to maybe go aggro, you will want Octopus on the base. And the best part about it, you don't need Octopus on any battlefield. Just put it on the base and he'll do wonders. But in this case, you are giving the opposition a draw 1. Next, Mesmerize. The bounce for your own stuff. Basically, this is a Mel card, of course, with it giving an enemy -2, and at reaction speed, 1 energy and 1 power cost, but it's the other card. You get to return a friendly unit to its owner's hand. Basically, in this case, you get to dodge lethal, in this case, quote-unquote. Dodging lethal is that you're dodging anything that would kill your unit, or anything that would jeopardize the unit itself, like a high-value unit, like, for example, Kaisa. That would be a great card to have. So, we are going to the next. Again, I'm speed running through this. So again, we're using Pilled Over Archive, so if you want to go through all the cards yourself, you can just go Pilled Over Archive, just go through all the cards as well. Now we're going to Plate Worm Egg. This is the card that I would say synergizes with Jace, whereby this card enters exhausted. You get to empower it with 1 cost, tapping it as well. Again, you would need to something to untap it to make it really good. The best part about it is that if you react to it, you get 1 mana, but if it's empowered, you get 2 instead. So that's not really necessary for you to pay the empower, but this is something that you would want with your Jace, because it has a setup, and you would want to untap it as well. You basically generate 4, then use Jace's ability to untap it, and you generate another 4, which is again great for those high cost gameplay. So, Jagged Cutlass is one of those equipments for body, is that I can't be moved by enemy spells and abilities for body as well. It doesn't give you a full protection, but it protects you from charm. Mask Mother is when you discard her, you may pay 1, again with the burn mechanic. This I would see in Z would be particularly good because he keeps burning stuff. And pay 1 to to give a friendly unit +2 this turn is great, but I would see no one else but Z playing this card. So, because of the burn synergistic as well. We are going to go for Tools Empire, whereby you empower the gear as well. Give a unit +2 might this turn. If this is empowered, give that unit +4 this turn. Again, this works well with Jace being an untapper and basically just giving something free 2 might or 4 might. But the energy costs 4. So, but again, you're playing body, you won't have issues with mana as well. Then we are going to go for Shadow over Discipline. I've seen people talk about this card. This is the main staple bread and butter for Z. When I move, you may burn 1, basically put the top card of your main deck into your trash to give it 1 might. I've seen people talk about this and they're synergistic with Baited Hook. Basically, they would discard the Baron, Baited Hook, find something that is 5 might and return back the Baron. So it's an interesting card as well. So yeah, that's about it for commons. We are going to skip all the way to uncommon next. So yeah, don't worry about it. Again, we are doing as fast as we could. So we're going straight to the uncommon section. Now we're going to the uncommon section. So the uncommon section, not a lot of units and spells that we want to go through, but the battlefields is the juicy part that we want to be going through right now. Okay, so without further ado, without wasting any more time, we are going to the uncommon section. First things first is Bakai Reaper. So Bakai Reaper is a Fury unit, 3 energy and 1 Fury power. When I attack, you may pay 1 Fury to give Assault 2 this turn. The fun fact about this, again, correct me if I am wrong. So Bakai Reaper says you may pay to give Assault 2. If I am not mistaken, you can pump it multiple times as long as you have the cost. So if the rules say you can, it means that Bakai Reaper can potentially be quite a problem because you get to Assault for 8 depending on how you want to attack. I believe this is a really good Lucius support because it has Assault 2. So yeah, it's a great card for you to have as well. So next would be Perfect Execution. It is, I wouldn't say a better pump spell when it comes to Assault. But the one thing that you want to keep note of is that you get to ready a unit, give it Assault 3. So it costs 3 energy and 1 power cost, so quite the heavy amount. And you get Flow 3 and 1 power. So the thing is that you get basically 6 copies, 3 on hand, 3 onto the graveyard. So it's something that it's Assault 3, which Cleave gives Assault 4 for 1 energy cost. So you get a trade-off. But the one thing that you want to keep note of is because that you get to ready a unit, that's one. And it's Flow. So that's the best part. Even if you use Perfect Execution, people wouldn't think twice of Perfect Execution being in the graveyard. The next card that I believe is going to be very prominent in the meta, in my opinion, is Resonating Strike. Now, Resonating Strike is a very interesting take of Ride the Wind, but it's in green. So the first thing in mind was Irelia, Akali, and even Master Yi. The thing is that Resonating Strike has hidden. That's the good thing about it. It has reaction, which you can be played before actions were to trigger, and it's 2 cost for and 1 power, so it's a good card in general. The best thing about this card is that you get to choose a battlefield you control and a unit you control at a different location. Move that unit to that battlefield and give it +2 might distance. But Elder Yapper, you need to control a battlefield in order to do this. Yes, true. Fun fact. Showdown happens, combat needs to resolve, then you get to see who controls the battlefield. Unless all that stack doesn't happen, you can still play Resonating Strike as a reaction before someone gets to conquer a battlefield. That's why I mentioned this is a very interesting card, because it catches anyone by surprise, and the worst part about it has hidden. It has hidden. So, and this is literally an Irelia staple. It's a great card with Irelia. Good for Yi as well, because if you time it right, I believe you can even proc Yi's defense trigger as well. So it's a really great card with Yi. If you're playing Irelia, you pump her, you get 1 might, that +2 might. So it's a discipline on a stick. Get Ride a Wind too. So it's a great card as well. And with Yi. So next card would be Applied Researcher. Again, we have a 4 energy cost unit, empower 3, and when you empower her, she basically gets the ability of Vex set 1, where your spell costs 1 energy and 1 power less. Again, great card for Ahri, for Mel, even I would say Vex Diana too. It reduces the cost by a lot. You don't even need to bring Vex set 1 as well. So it's a good card for you to have 3 out of 5 for its power. Next, we're gonna have Patch Porobot. Again, this is literally an on support. You can't say otherwise. I mean, it works with Jace as well, with any equipment heavy that's blue. Basically, when you play me and if you control 3 or more other gear, you get to draw 1. So it works as a unit and a gear. The reason why I say this works with On well, because when you check your top 3 with On's unit, this counts as a gear because it's a unit and a gear as well. But it does come into the base exhausted. So that's something that you need to keep track of. Next is Bakai Witherclaw. This is a card that I would say good for body, and I would say even good for Ambessa as well, because I have 2 might empowered and Death Knell, channel 2 runes if it is empowered. And the power cost is not that expensive. I would say 1 and 2 power costs. So it's really not that high. We've seen empowered cost 12, which is ridiculous. So it's something that you want to keep in track of. And the best part about this set is that you get to move keywords as well, which we are going to go with the next card, 6-7. So yeah, a great card, 4 might and becomes 6 might if it's empowered as well. The next card that we want to keep track of course, is 6-7 Profiteer. When you play me, again, nudge me 6-7, you may dispower something you control to empower a legend, unit, or a gear. Empower something that needs empowering, which is Bakai Witherclaw. It can empower a gear that maybe a gear would want to be empowered with. In this case, this would be great with Jace too, because you want to empower that equipment. So it's a good card to be moving the keywords as well. So again, going to the next Escape Greyback, literally a LeBlanc support. Why do I say this is a LeBlanc support? Is because that the empower literally says kill a unit. So it triggers Karthus' ability, it triggers anything that it itself has Death Knell. It's a good card, and the best part about it is that it's empowered +2 might. So you are not only just helping the LeBlanc with the tactic, you are also giving it +2 might, which is a 5 might attacker for a 3 drop, which is great for LeBlanc. I can also see this played in Ambessa as well, because Bakai Witherclaw and Escape Greyback are both 2 really good combos. You get to kill the Bakai Witherclaw with the Escape Greyback. It's a 5 or a 6, but you get to channel 2 runes exhausted as well. So we are going to then Key Barrier. So Key Barrier is a very interesting card because it just outright says prevent that damage. It means that Elder Dragon doesn't get to do his shenanigans. This card will be good against cards that would modify the damage to only require 1 damage to deal with the specific units as well. So a pretty good card. I would see this in sideboards as well if it's really Elder Dragon heavy or anything that is really ping heavy as well. And it's a reaction speed, 2 energy, 1 power cost, good card. Again, we are going to the last unit card. Again, we skip through a lot because we're going to battlefields. Tailcloak Matriarch. When I become empowered, you may choose a unit in your trash with energy cost no more than 3 and power cost no more than 1 and 1 power cost. Play to your base ignoring its cost. Again, a great card for Chaos. Cards like Diana. This would have been busted if the energy cost would be 4, because you can literally resurrect Vex, because Vex, if I'm not mistaken, costs 4. So something that I would believe Ahri, anything that is playing purple, even Diana as well, would love. Ravenbloom Student. They're just gonna resurrect Ravenbloom Student. And we're going to the battlefield. So we're going to go through some of the battlefields that I believe is going to be great. One of it is the newer release, new spoil is Threshold of the Grey. When combat starts, the attacker and defender each add 1 energy, which is again something good for Diana particularly, because it doesn't really help because you're giving the opponent that as well, but it's more beneficial to the Diana because you get to add in that 1 energy cost. Even though the card seems simple, you conquer here, if you control 4 of your runes, you may pay 1 to draw 1. Do mind you that Conquer is a timing itself, so you want to recycle it before the Conquer trigger comes into play, so it really plays around with timing. If you want to make it simple, try to recycle runes before you want to conquer this, so that's something to keep up in mind. Next would be the Mystic Vortex. Basically, during showdowns here, cards with reaction cost 1 more power to play, which is something good for those aggro players when you're fighting against the Diana matchup. And we finally have a Volibear battlefield where it says Dragon Roost. Any player may pay 2 additional power to have a dragon played onto this battlefield. So you can just plop Elder Dragon there. It's something that I would say Severe would want to have because of... I wouldn't even say Severe. This is literally a Volibear card in my personal opinion because you just can cheat your mighty units onto Dragon Roost and just surprise the opponent with a huge ass dragon. So that goes the uncommon section. So catch you in the rare section. Okay, now we're going to the rares. So a lot of the rares, this is where things get really spicy, especially with rares. Now, coming in before we go into rares, just want to give you a heads up. In Vendetta, the very unique thing about this set is that there are cards that are called decrees. So decrees are basically factions that are against each other. So there's a Decree of Insight, Decree of Focus. We'll get into those cards. So it will be going up against, like for example, specific color-coded cards as well. But yeah, without further ado, going to the rares, and the first card that I just mentioned that it goes infinite will be the Twilight Revealer. Now, the reason why this card is going to be very famous is because when I attack ready another friendly unit. Now, someone in Twitter actually already mentioned how the combo works. The setup for me is quite a bit convoluted with every infinite combo. Will the infinite combo break the meta? No, it's not. This game doesn't have any tutors, and to have all of that setup is, I would pretty much say, quite hard to do so. It's Twilight Revealer, Svelsonger, Jin, or anything that's move related, like Stalcon Herder, and anything that would give stun. So you would need a lot of components for this combo to happen to begin with. So the thing is that you would want to have 2 Twilight Revealers, which is already hard in and of itself. You would need a Svelsonger. And even if you're playing 3, the likelihood of having Twilight Revealer and Svelsonger, there is a possibility, but not really. So you would need 4, sorry, not 5. So 4 cards to set up the infinite combo. So if you want to know more, link for the Twitter, I'm gonna share it down below. So yeah, comment down your thoughts on infinite combos in Riftbound. Will I see it being used in the tournaments? Depends, really. We'll have to see how it will work out in Singapore. Going to cards that I would say, like I mentioned before, Decree of Insight. So we're not going to go to all the decrees, but in my opinion, this is the best decree there is because you just outright give a body unit -5 reaction and you get to ignore deflect while paying this cost. So you notice that it says give an enemy body unit. So it goes up against specific color-coded factions going across them because Decree of Insight, because Mel is against Ambessa, Decree of Focus, Nasus is going against Renekton, etc, etc. So there are specific color coded that go up against one another. So Decree of Insight, Decree of Focus, and all the other decrees as well. We are going to Crumbling Sand next. Basically, you get to counter spell if another player has been played this turn. Yeah, if you want to counter something like a board wipe, which there is a board wipe in this set, Ruination, Unchecked Power. If they cast something else and they cast Unchecked Power, you're Crumbling Sands. If they cast something like Ride the Wind and then Starcross, Crumbling Sands. So they really need to double confirm on arrangement of the spells with Crumbling Sands. It's a good sideboard. I wouldn't see this played in main. Maybe 1 or 2. It's a good sideboard card. Now, going to the next card. This is Swain, Visionary. Now, I love this card just because of how easy for you to proc when you're playing an on deck. Again, I'm just glazing on at this point. Because it's very simple. Because you get to, when you conquer with Swain, if you played a non-token unit, which you can, you get to spam. Even Lilia can do this as well because you get to play non-token units like crazy. A non-token gear and a spell this turn, you score 1 point. So you get to score an additional point with Swain. He's a 6 cost 1 power, but because how easy it is to trigger his ability, that makes it even better. I believe if you have Svelsong on it, you actually trigger it twice. So you get to score 4, 1 from Swain, 1 from Svelsonger, and 1 for Conquering. So you score 3. Which is great. I believe someone has been mentioning about this card, which is Fallen Feline. Again, Fallen Feline is a really interesting card, whereby when you play him, name a spell. While I'm at the battlefield, opponents can't play spells with that name. So if you see Fallen Feline, you really want to kill it quickly. Most probably people would, if they know their matchup, like for example, they would name Punch First, they would name Defy, they would name Discipline, they would name Hidden Blade, Call the Weak. So these cards will definitely be named by Fallen Feline because of they want to protect it. Because this is opponents, not players. So it's a one-side lock in this case as well. So for someone that is very card knowledgeable, it's a very powerful card in and of itself. Now, Zed, I really haven't give Zed the spotlight. I believe he really deserves it because Zed plays off like, I would say, again, sorry, Jinx plays. He's a better Jinx. I'm sorry. He's just better because why? When I Conquer, play a Zero Shadow Clone. Now, Shadow Clones are, you can play Zed on Jinx. I'm not saying you can't, but Zed offers such a good value because Shadow Clones triggers when I attack, you may banish a unit from your trash. If you do, give Assault 4 this turn. So you just have a 4 Might Shadow Clone as for your attack as well. Basically banishes Graveyard, but the best thing about it is that you go through and cycle through your cards that you deem it not useful or doesn't have any flow state as well. So it's a very interesting card. Decree or Discord, return any number of order units with total might 5 or less to their owner's hand. Great 1 cost, 1 power, 1 chaos. All these decree cards, I believe, is going to be it as a sideboard rather than a main staple. And just a fun fact, sideboard is now increased from 8 to 10. Just a quick update for rules. So yeah. Next is I see people mentioning about Kale. Now, the reason why Kale is so powerful is because you can empower her multiple times, but her empower cost was quite high, but there are battlefields that can reduce the empower costs, and you can move the empower keywords onto Kale, like we just noticed from the uncommon 6/7 card as well. So when she is empowered, she has 2 might for each time she's empowered. So for each empowered, she gets +2 might, and while I'm empowered three times, I have deflect 3 and ganking, which is, it sounds broken, but we will see how it works, and let's see how the card works on the current meta with everything being controlled, everything just being counter, everything just like, I want to kill that, bounce that. Like, everything is just so controlled. It could be a situation where someone plays Decree or Discord just to get rid of the kill. They can do that if they want to. But Spell of Discord, as it says, it's just a normal spell and not a reaction spell. So there are cards that can bounce kill as well. But the thing is that you want to do that before she gets deflect 3, so something you want to keep in mind. Glowstone. So Glowstone is a fun card. I would personally say disempower this, choose a player, they take control of it and recall it. And at the end of your turn, kill this and deal 5 to all units you control. Honestly, this is just a fun card, but it's still an interesting card because you need to keep recycling it's literally hot potato, hot grenade, like we're passing through Glowstones. I would see people that can generate gold. You get the picture. If you can somehow generate a lot of power, you can use Glowstone like it's nothing. Especially, that's one of the reasons why the seals got up in price, because of the empowered. One last card before we go to epic, which is Mel. There are 2 kinds of Mel. This is the rare Mel, and then there is the epic Mel. Later we will discuss on the epic Mel, whereby discard a spell, empower her. When I'm empowered, banish an enemy unit at a battlefield with 3 might or less. Pretty simple, straightforward card. Just outright banish something that is 3 might or less. Again, something is actually really good. The reason why is because with Mel and Ahri being minus might, you can just outright banish something that is of high threat, and something that originally is 5 might becomes 3. Play Mel, discard something, banish it, it's gone for good. It's great to combo with 1000 Tail Watcher, because she has blue and chaos as well. So yeah, that's about all the cards of the rare variety. Again, I do apologize, we can't cover all of the rest, or else this will be a 1-hour video. We are now moving to the epics. Then we're going to go to some glazing of really cool looking art as well. Alright, we're going to the final section, and if you stayed this long, I do really appreciate it. Okay, now, first things first, like I mentioned before, Mel has an epic version of her, whereby when you play her, you already get to draw 1, which is a 4 cost, 1 power, great, and you get a 4 might body as well. When you play me, draw a card. You already get a draw just by playing her. Empower 3. You already are trying to empower her, so she basically costs 7 if you want to do all of that in 1 turn. But the best part about her is that when your spells and abilities can't be countered, that's already one thing. If a spell and ability you control would give minus might, it gives an additional minus might. That's why with Ahri, 1000 Tail Watcher, the common card that -2 might, it's great. just Mel's entire epic really revolves around her tactic of debuffing your enemy units. That's why with her rare, you can just banish something that is 3 might or less because of how she reduces power, which is amazing. Now, we are going to a very unique card. I don't see a lot of people talk about this card because it's a board wipe. Cataclysmic Duel. Basically, each player chooses one unit they control, kill the rest. Literally, as a board wipe for body, it's something that is insane because for body to pay that cost is actually really simple. Cataclysmic Duel is one of those cards that just outright wipe the entire board. And the best part about body is that you just choose Elder Dragon, everything else is dead. And then speaking about dragons, we have Ocean and Corrupted Dragon. Now, Corrupted Dragon for the cost is quite a niche ability, very high, but then again, it's body. If your score is not within 3 points of the victory score, I enter ready. When I attack, you may move any number of enemy units here with 5 or less might to their base. It sounds very niche because of the 5 might. Will I say it's a good dragon? It's an okay dragon. Corrupted Dragon is that type of card that just when you play it, it goes tempo. Anything that's 5 might or less, anything that spam Lelia on, anything Victor that would want these kinds of situation. So with Corrupted Dragon being in mind, it's good against spam. But it's a niche card. People would probably play it in Aurora to control the board. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a 3 out of 5 card. We have Cannon's signature ability. It's stack deck, whereby you look at the top 3 cards of your main deck, choose a card from among them, draw it, put the rest into your trash. And the best part about it, you have 6 copies of it because it has flow 3. 2 energy and 1 power. Why I say it's 6 copies? Because you get to play 3 from your hand and 3 into your trash. So practically anything that has flow, you have 6 copies of it. Like I mentioned, Cannon Storm of Shuriken. When you play him, you get to burn 2. And when he conquers, give a spell in your trash flow equal to his cost, which is a great thing when you conquer something. So with Cannon, will it see play in other purple decks? Yeah, definitely. It gives something that has such a powerful signature spell flow, anything that is, for example, if you're playing Mel, unchecked power, anything that is blue or purple related, you can have your stack deck have flow. There's a lot of possibility. Star-crossed flow. You can do anything that you want with flow. So it's a really good card and it procs with every conquer as well. Ambessa. Now, Ambessa has a very interesting card whereby 5 cost 5 might, so it's a 5/5. Empower 1 and 2. So basically 1 energy and 2 power of order. When you empower her, she already has assault 2. But when she's already empowered, she just outright, when she attacks, kill an enemy unit here with less might than me. I would see this played in Ambessa itself because you can immediately ready the Ambessa. But will I see it played in other yellow decks? Maybe yes, maybe no, depending on the current situation and the current meta itself. They really depend on the situation. There are signature spells, and if you get them, most probably it's going to be good for pre-rifts, but it depends on the archetype and strategy that you want to go with. Cannon is good for burn. Ambessa is good when you are trying to go with aggro and going to mid-game as a beefy unit. It's a 7 unit, 7 might unit for an attacker. Lightning Rush. Oh, I forgot, Rebuttal. Choose a spell with energy cost not more than 4. Pay 1 power. Gain control of it, and you basically retarget the spell, which is great. The reason why I really don't cover all the rares, all the epics, all the is because there's a lot. With all these cards in mind, with epics and rares, it really depends on the synergy that you want to go with. And it really looks on the meta. People will say this will go infinite, this will not go infinite, this will be great, this will not be. So my personal opinion is that play what you like. And if you want to follow the meta, we've interviewed with multiple top players that won the Fahrenheit 88 events, that you can follow the meta, but at the end of the day, if you don't really understand how your deck plays out, then it's not going to work well. It's not about the deck, it's the pilot. It's not about the Gundam, it's about the pilot. I hope I don't get copyright for that. Again, going to the last part of the video, basically all the alternate arts as well as the new overnumbered you get to see. The theme about this set is that all the overnumbered have the clashing art as well. We have Nessus, Renekton, Jace, Victor, Shen, Zed, Riven, and Raven. I haven't even talked about Riven. Riven is a great card as a green. Irelia and Swain. Again, all these cards are amazing as well. The one gripe that I have about these cards, you can't collect them singularly. And you see the art is amazing as an overnumbered, but it feels like it's missing the other half, so it feels like you have to get both of them to look nice. Personally, they look great because of the art direction of it. Some of the art looks way better than the rest, like Gangplank and Ilaoi look great, but for me, the Shen and Zed, that's on my personal opinion. So yeah, so I actually forgot to mention, these are the arts that will be part of the booster box as well. You can get them in your packs. It has already been mentioned that these will not take the overnumbered slots. However, I have heard that people said Kaisa is not obtained from the packs, question mark. I'm not sure about that. But the rest, yes, you can still grab them via packs. Ahri being an incredible art we've set as well. Kaisa. So yeah, that comes about the end of the video. Like I mentioned before, this is just a video that we will go over the analysis of the cards, what I believe are good, that we should be keeping an eye out. Cards that are interesting, like Cataclysmic Duel. Cards like, we haven't even covered Jace, but this entire video is just basically as a reference for you to keep in mind as a potential meta shifting card. It could potentially be a card that you want to have for yourself. Again, you can go through this entire archive through the Pillover archive. Shout out to them. So again, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care and stay safe. Again, thank you so much for your continuous support. This is Elder Yapper signing out. Bye bye, guys. And I wish you all the best on your pre-riffs.